invitation, should you choose to accept it.
It's a quest. It's a quest for fun.
Well, The Rock says, why don't we just cut right to the chase?
Okay, now he wants to get together. Well, he wants to talk.
I want you to do me a favor. I want you to tell all your friends about me.
It's showtime, folks!
What are you?
Greetings and salutations. Welcome to And I Quote, the weekly show where we introduce you to content creators of all shapes and sizes that join us from any and all corners of the nerd universe, and we take your questions. I am your host, Ryan of Nerd Culture, and our guest this week is leadership coach Rob Hodes. Rob, welcome to the program. How are you?
Great. Yourself?
Doing well, good sir. Thank you so much for being here. Now, if you have any questions for Rob as we go throughout the course of this episode, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. Our producer is going to be monitoring it as we go throughout the course of this program. And don't forget to like and share this video with all of your closest friends, because they're going to like the way they look after watching or listening to this episode of And I Quote with our special guest, Rob Hodes. I guarantee it. With that being said, Rob, just out of curiosity, what would you say were some of your favorite TV series or movies growing up? What do you think?
Oh, I liked the Jetsons, with all their futuristic things like the Futuraka cycle, and here's George Jetson, Jane, his wife, little boy Elroy, etc. That All in the Family. Let's see, the Jeffersons. Those are the three that come to mind.
All right. Good picks. Any favorites?
And yourself?
The show is mainly about you, but just to answer the question. No, it's okay. Just to answer the question real quickly. Some of mine were, I grew up on Saturday morning cartoons on Fox Kids back in the 90s, so I'm a 90s kid, aka millennial. So I grew up on shows like Spider-Man, X-Men, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Mighty Max. Some of the other properties that came out during that time were Batman the Animated Series. Rest in peace, Kevin Conroy. So, yeah, those are some of the things those are some of the shows anyway. As far as movies go, gosh, man, I grew up on so many. I mean, as you saw at the top of the show with our intro, Tim Burton's Batman from 1989, Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade, which, by the way, the new trailer for the new Indiana Jones movie just dropped the other day for Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. Feel free to look that up after the show. So those are some of the things that stand out to me. But even so, lots of things to grow up on and lots of things to enjoy. Let's just put it that way. Any favorite books for you, Rob, that stand out to you?
I liked, I'm a self-improvement nerd. So I liked, I grew up, wasn't really into reading, but I was into like cassette tapes. And for those in Gen Z or whatever they're calling themselves nowadays, there might be like, what's a cassette tape? But I was listening to like Wayne Dyer, Dennis Waitley, Earl Nightingale, The Stranger's Secret, and where I would be learning all these concepts about how to be a better person, be personable, be this, be that, be the other thing. Things that I weren't when I was a kid, because as I was a shy, introverted nerd, picked on, stuttered, bullied, and treated very disrespectfully. To be very, how should I say, PC.
Oh, okay. I see. No problem. No worries. Sometimes, reading may or may not be for everybody, and sometimes reading can be a bit of a challenge to certain times. So that's okay. There's no problem with that. What made you decide to become a leadership coach?
That background, which I just talked about, because when you're like thrown into rose bushes on the side of your home by like friends, really, they're friends, sure they are, and stuttered, couldn't, had no friends, had very little self-confidence, very, very little self-esteem, very little self-worth. So I started taking personal development courses in 1984. And that was at a place called the Summit Organization here in Los Angeles. then I've taken Tony Robbins and Peak Potentials and Landmark and gobs of others. And in when I was 45, I was diagnosed on the autism spectrum, and then everything came together like, oh, this is why all this crap happened to me. So now it's my passion and my purpose to assist people in getting rid of all those chips on the shoulder which I had. And because people on the autism spectrum are treated as, abnormal citizens. It's just like being the abnormal brain in Young Frankenstein, or the abnormal brain.
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. I see what you mean. Well, thank you for sharing that with us. Once again, we're talking with leadership coach Rob Hodes on this episode of And I Quote. Don't forget to like and share this video with all 200 of your closest friends. If you have any questions for Rob, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. We'll be bringing them up as best we can here on screen. But in the meantime, what would you say are some of the rewards about being a leadership coach?
Absolutely. Seeing people grow, seeing the light bulb go on in people, seeing that, oh, this is why I'm attracting all these jerks, or whatever you want to call them. I'm cleaning up my language here, okay?
Okay.
This is why I have all these issues, because when people are growing up the first 7 years of their life, they're like a virtual tape recorder. And in that tape recorder, we create all these judgments and conclusions, and we think we're making conscious decisions in the future, but 99% of them are from our programming from when we were childhood, and we don't always ask ourselves or know how to ask ourselves, why do I keep attracting XYZ? These bad friends, these bad bosses, these whatever. So I teach people how to ask themselves the proper questions so they can actually achieve what they want in life.
I can definitely get with that. Well, on the flip side of the coin, though, what would you say are some of the biggest challenges about being a leadership coach?
Having some people, like when I was growing up, or when I first started taking these personal development courses, they were asking me, tell me a feeling word. Tell me a feeling word. So people on the autism spectrum, can't always feel their feelings. They can't always analyze things. So sometimes you have to start from ground zero and say, okay, tell me, give me a brief summary of your life, and your first 10 years, next 10 years, next 10 years, and what happened, what happened, why you think it may have happened. So it's like, putting together a jigsaw puzzle. But that's what I enjoy, because I'm really overly analytical, and I enjoy putting those puzzle pieces together.
There you go, being supportive of others. Rock on. Any special memories that stand out to you from being a leadership coach thus far, whether you've been interacting with others or whether you're promoting your business at events and things like that?
Yes. When I purposely attract attention to myself by using words like differently abled, by using acronyms like for example, God, grateful, outstanding, and dedicated. We can be I've just lost my train of thought here. 1 second here. Oh, yeah, there's fail. Fail is for all I learned. There is no failure. There's only growth opportunities. And also, at the end of whatever I'm doing, I say, bah! And then I say, no, you're not a sheep. Be awesome as always. Or figure out why you're not as awesome as you'd like to be. Hire a coach like me. See a therapist, a pastor, something to get rid of your limiting beliefs. And then also, there's FROG. FROG stands for fully rely on God or your higher power. Because people, alcohol and drugs are not higher powers.
No, that's true. Not so much in that case. But wow, goodness, you have a really good way with the acronyms. I will give you credit for that. That is for certain. What are your plans for the leadership coaching and the programs moving forward?
Excuse me, to create I'm working on creating a series of courses which are both self-directed and one-on-one coaching. So this way, I can either lead people through things and give them a personalized experience, or they will just answer the questions on their own. And then, we might have 1 or 2 sessions together versus, I don't know, half a dozen or a dozen, because I'm really good at picking up on what people say, how they say it, and what they're not saying between the lines, because I've been doing personal development on myself for the last 38 years. So very few things get by me.
38 years. Gee willikers, that is a long time. Long time. But hey, age is just a number when you really look at it. But once again, we are talking with the incredible leadership coach known as Rob Hodes on this episode of And I Quote. Make sure you like and share this video with all 300 of your closest friends. If you have any questions for Rob as we go throughout the course of the show, whether you're watching this live or on the replay, let us know in the comments. Let us know in the chat. We'll be keeping an eye on as we go throughout the course of this very program that you are watching or listening to, I should say. Now, for an individual who is watching or listening and they have an idea to become a leadership coach, what sort of advice would you give to someone who is aspiring to become a leadership coach or to help others with autism down the line?
Number 1, find a mentor. Find someone that you can learn from, that you can grow with, that you can relate to. And like for example, when I was taking classes back in 1984, my best friend, I'm still talking to him, and I'm still talking to people from there. And when you're genuine, honest, and sincere, and you sit and you say what's actually going on with people, you start relating with people, and then you become friends. You become, you become coworkers. You become, how should I say this? You work together on projects. I have a client, or a potential client whose name is Rudy, and I met him at Cerritos College here in Los Angeles, and we've kept in touch. And I give him, literally, I talk to the guy every week, giving him tips. So find someone you relate to and develop a relationship with them and let it blossom. And then go from there. Go on Clubhouse. That's where I know you from. And meet people. And I have good friends from Clubhouse. And be in their rooms, contribute to their rooms. And if you don't know what Clubhouse is, Google what is Clubhouse. It's an audio-only app.
There you go. That is very, very true, and very good pieces of advice, and thank you for sharing that with us as well here, Rob. Now, if you came across someone, or if someone who may be watching or listening to this comes across someone who was recently diagnosed with autism, they find out they have autism, but they're not sure how to come to grips with it or maybe move forward with it, what is something, or maybe a few things that you would tell an individual who was recently diagnosed with autism? They may be thinking, oh, is this a bad thing? Is this the end of the world? Is this going to change things down the line? Is it going to end somewhere down down the road for me? I'm not really sure. So for someone who has been recently diagnosed for autism, what would you tell that individual?
I would tell them it's a diagnosis. It's a mental health diagnosis. It's not a prognosis. A prognosis is you have cancer, you have 3 months to live. A diagnosis is simply says, okay, this is how your brain is wired. Just because your brain is wired differently than other people, you still have gifts. That's why my website is myautismgifts.com, because I had to determine what my gifts were. And my gifts are being detail oriented, reading between the lines, looking at what people say and how they say it, and what they don't say about things and what they do say. And also get professional assistance from a therapist or anybody, and for your past, because a therapist handles the past, and a coach like myself assists you in the future, and helps you reach out and create smart goals, specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. That's what coaches do. And I take great pride and great pleasure in seeing those light bulbs turn on in people.
There you go. I definitely could not have said it any better myself. I'll just say that yes, if you do have autism, it means your brain's wired differently, but it is a gift, not a curse. At least in my opinion. You can still succeed in life no matter what you want to do, but that's just my opinion. Other people think differently, and that's fine. But with that being said, I do want to let you know, Rob, that this episode of And I Quote, and every episode of And I Quote, I should say, is indeed powered by our good friends over there at Poddex. Now, Poddex are unique interview questions as well as episode starting prompts in the palm of your very own hand. So whether you are a new podcaster or existing broadcaster looking to grow your audience or get more engagement, you're going to want to check out poddex.com. Use the code Ryan10. That's RYAN10, Ryan10 for 10% off your first order. You're not going to want to miss out on that opportunity. So first things first, Rob, powered by our good friends over here at Poddex, what's the biggest lie you once believed was true?
I'll never amount to anything, because when you seem like you're 3 feet tall, even though I'm 5'8", and you have all these judgments and conclusions, because people don't want to be with you because you stutter. And when I was learning to talk, I could only say vowels, not consonants. People would ask me my name. I would say I-E-O, because I couldn't say Robbie Hodes. And don't let your past dictate your future. When you hire a coach, when you talk to a therapist, their job is to assist you, and my job is to assist you in bringing out your gold, bringing out your gifts, and putting and helping you shine like a military shine. I don't know if anyone's ever seen a military shine on boots, but those boots have to be like, shiny all over the place. And that's what therapists and myself do, is we help you shine.
Okay. Goodness gracious. Shining stars, etc., etc. No, nothing wrong with that. What is one thing that people buy that you think is a total waste of money?
It's a total waste of money when you take courses, and then you don't apply things, and you don't have accountability partners where you have buddies and you check in with them. I talk to my friend Paul every week, and another friend Tim, and we review weekly goals. And the first 9 months that I was taking these personal development courses in 1984, it was like things were not sinking in, because I was still under my old paradigm. So finally, they got really annoyed at me, and they said, "What do we have to do with you to have this information sink in?" Then I was like, "Okay, light bulb." So realize when you're not learning, and realize that there are no dumb questions. The only dumb questions are the ones that aren't asked.
That's okay. That's a excuse me. That's a fair point. Sorry, a bit of a gnat here. Anyway, no, that's a fair point. So you must choose wisely. So I get that. If you, if you were in charge, what 3 items would you have in what is known as the office vending machine?
I would have. I would have. Well, I'm personally a Starburst fan. Okay, so I would have Starburst. Some sugary snacks. I'm a Snickers fan as well. And also something for your brain, like a brain food. Whatever, have a variety of healthy snacks, because junk food is good. If you need a sugar rush, great, but have healthy things to support people, because if you drink coffee 15 times a day, you get a coffee rush and a coffee downer. You get a caffeine hit. And you don't want short term. You want long term energy.
Definitely. The more energy, the merrier. Let's be quite frank. But even so, have you ever been kicked out of anything? And if so, what?
Oh, I've been fired from jobs before because I learned how to talk a good talk. But then when I had to walk my talk, I got fired because I couldn't walk my talk once. And I said I could do things, but when it came down to things, they were like, where is those, it didn't work out. So I learned to actually, temper, excuse me, temper things and make them a little bit more realistic and not quite so pie in the sky. So this way, it gave me room to grow, and say, okay, I'm human. And one of my favorite phrases is when I'm teaching people, I say, "Who gave you permission to be human?" Actually, I don't point at them. I say, "Who gave you permission to be human?" Because people don't like to be pointed at. And I practice edutainment, and I poke fun at what people say. People say, "Can you shoot me an email?" I say, "Okay, when I shoot you the email, what caliber bullet am I using?" So I do. So I'm a very punny guy.
I see what you did there. Very clever, nice stuff. Nothing wrong with breaking the ice and make people feel more at ease. And there's nothing wrong with a good joke every once in a while. So there you go. Rock on with that. Our next question, which is powered by Poddex. What is your kryptonite?
What is my kryptonite?
Yeah, could be anything.
Yeah. I would say when someone is in my face and they're literally berating me, because I have a day job as well, shall I say? And when people are yelling at me, I do call center customer service. When people are yelling at me and it's my way or the highway, I have to take a few deep breaths, and I cannot yell back at them because then I'd be unemployed. So, and regather myself and just, okay, so Mrs. Jones, so you're having this issue and this issue and this issue, and I so apologize, and I literally have to remorph myself from a person who's seething inside because they're yelling at me and they don't understand how things work. Okay, so when I worked for an insurance company, and your formulary, which is a list of benefits your plan covers, unfortunately does not cover everything under the sun. So and then I explain what the issue is, but it's a question of sometimes, how should I say, kissing Fanny, so that you get them to like you and at least understand what you're saying, even if they don't agree with it.
Absolutely, totally fair, right down the line, and makes a lot of good sense there. No question about it. Well, we do want to take. Yes.
Oh, you know what they say? If you don't make dollars, you don't make sense.
I understood. I got it. I understood that one. There you go. That's completely fair.
That's my humor. And if you don't make sense, you don't make dollars. So I make sure people are listening. And if they don't respond, I was like, okay. So and then I say, oh, and this is a joke before I say the next one.
Well, there you go. Giving a bit of what do you call it? Preface this by saying so and so, and obviously jokes are not a problem at all, and it's always good to break the ice, have fun with it, and we want to make people feel welcome. And listening is just as important as anything else in this world. So please make sure you listen to each other and learn from each other. That is some good pieces of advice that we can present to you. But I do want to take this opportunity to say thank you to Rob Hodes for being our guest on this week's episode of And I Quote. Rob, thank you so much for being here. Where can the person watching or listening to this follow you on social media and everything you have coming up? What do you got?
www.myautismgifts.com. I absolutely hate Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. You can connect with me at linkedin.com, linkedin.com/in/Rob Hodes. At my website, you send me an email and you say, hey, I heard you on Ryan's podcast. And by the way, I'm having a holiday special now. If you say you heard me on Ryan's podcast, I'm going to give you a free 30-minute session where I handle any issue you want. And then you see the value that I create in your life and you want to keep using me. And if I don't create enough value in your life, well, then don't, because then you don't think it's good money spent.
Yeah, there you go. Well, thank you so much for sharing that with us, Rob, and for being here on this episode of And I Quote. Thank you so much, Rob Hodes, leadership coach, for being here. My name is Ryan of Neuroculture. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RyanRPM5. Links to where you can follow all my other shows that I do are located within the description of this video, as well as where you can follow Rob Hodes on social media. His link is located within the description below of this video, as well as the audio versions of these episodes and our audio feed. All the links are in the descriptions of each and every episode with each respective guest that we've had on the show. I want to let you know we got a lot of great things coming your way very soon. Also, we have a tribute that we're doing tonight, actually, on Saturday, December the 3rd, 8 p.m. EST. We're going to do a tribute to Jason David Frank, who played the Green Ranger as well as many other Rangers within the history of the Power Rangers TV series, passed away a few weeks ago. We are going to celebrate his life on Saturday night, December 3rd, 8 p.m. EST. Please join us for that. And our next movie anniversary watch along is coming up next month, in the month of December, or actually this month, I should say. We are already in the month of December. Gee whiz, I'm losing track of time. Friday night, December the 16th, 2022, 8 p.m. EST. It is the 30th anniversary watch-along of A Few Good Men, starring Tom Cruise, Jack Nicholson, Demi Moore, and a host of other great actors and actresses. Friday night, December the 16th at 8 p.m. EST on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter at It's Neuroculture. Once again, all the links are located within the description of this video. So be sure to like, comment, share, subscribe, smash that notification bell, I should say. Do all that stuff. And in the meantime, stay healthy, stay strong, stay safe. And remember, life is better when reading. Take a look.
Famous Faces and Funnies in Melbourne, Florida is leading the way in pop culture fun. From comic books and graphic novels to Funko Pops and collector's items, Famous Faces and Funnies has it all. Rick Shea and the professional team at Famous Faces and Funnies are friendly and knowledgeable. Whether you're looking for toys, props, collector treasures, or a new comic book, Famous Faces and Funnies is your one-stop shop. To find Famous Faces and Funnies on Facebook and Twitter, just type at FFF Comics.
Sweet dreams they placed on me inside my mind. Chance my truth twist the past, my memories are fading fast. Am I still missed? You understand? Who do you want me to be? Am I still missed?
Join author Gary Zeiger for an animatic short film based on his Breakaway Stingray novel series. Watch this animatic short based on the novel Stingray, You Can't Hide Forever at stingrayseries.com. In Stingray, You Can't Hide Forever, Captain Epsilon is putting the band back together to rescue his protege's little sister from the evil conglomerate, while keeping his state-of-the-art warship, Stingray, out of their hands. Watch as the adventure unfolds in the groundbreaking animatic short at stingrayseries.com. Then, join the crew of Stingray with the next novel in the series, Stingray Prophecy, where Captain Epsilon and Dr. Zubre are pivotal players in an ancient prophecy. Can they reunite the people of two worlds before they destroy each other? To learn more, visit stingrayseries.com.
The Multiverse Fundraiser is a virtual fandom jamboree and a charity fundraiser all rolled into one package. We're not just raising funds for a good cause, we're raising fun. Our 2023 event will be supporting the John Ritter Foundation for Aortic Health, which exists to spread awareness of aortic health and prevent unnecessary suffering through genetic research, widespread education, and radical advocacy. Our fundraiser combines celebrity panels, fandom-based panels, indie creators, and all of the fun of a virtual con for free. There's a little something for everyone while we support a cause close to our heart. Join us on January 20th through 22nd, along with celebrity guests Amy Yazbek, Jason Bear, Chris Gaucher, Victor Garber, William Catt, Cress Williams, Beth Broderick, Armin Shimmerman, Guy Gilchrist, Carrie Schaefer, Brian Hull, Amy Carrero, Jennifer Cody, and Joyce DeWitt.
Choose high-flying action. Choose death-defying escapes. Choose spine-tingling thrills. Choose nail-biting intrigue. Now's your chance to choose the adventure. The Captain Hawkland Adventures. Available on Amazon.com.
Author Cindy Kep is writing on the edge. Books include Remnant in the Stars,
The Loudest Actions. Lines of Succession. Mindstorm. Condemned Courier. The Yerushalayim series. And Animal Eye. Find author Cindy Koepp at CKOEPP.com today.
Good morning. Oh, and in case I don't see you, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.